Hello everyone and welcome to Journey with the Kellers. My name is Amanda Keller and today we are back in the Keller kitchen. So today we are going to be making something from the Cooking with Magic from Disney. It's a century of recipes. And today's recipe is called Safe to Eat Apple Strudel, which of course is in a reference to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, okay? So the first thing that we are going to do for this is make the dough for the apple strudel. So basically what you'll need to do ahead of time is you will need a 1/4 of, or 4 tablespoons or 1/4 of a cup of butter that's very soft. I went ahead and microwaved mine in the microwave for about 15 or 20 seconds to get it there. You're also going to need 1 egg yolk. So you'll need to separate it out to have 1 egg yolk. Okay. So basically what you're going to do first is you are going to, in a medium-sized bowl, take 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay. Then you're going to add in 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Now, if your measuring spoons are like mine and you don't have a 1/8 of a teaspoon measuring spoon, just do about a half of the 1/4. Which will give you about 1/8. As close to as about half as you can there. Okay. Then you're also going to need to add to this some baking powder, and we need a 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. And then you're also going to add to this 1 egg and the egg yolk. So here's the egg yolk, and then I have 1 egg as well. Put that in there. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and mix this up. Oh, and I forgot the butter. So you're gonna need the 1/4 of a cup or 4 tablespoons of very soft butter. Okay. So, try to combine this all together. You're probably still gonna have to kind of smash up the butter a little bit. That's why I'm using a fork. Kind of smash it in there and keep working it in. Sorry, son's playing video games. Okay, so once you get this all nice and mixed in, what you're gonna do is you are gonna slowly stir in 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of all-purpose flour. You basically want it to make like a soft dough. So I'm going to start out with 3/4 of a cup, and I'll slowly add that in, kind of while stirring it at the same time. Hopefully, if I could do both here. Butter is sticking to my fork. Okay, so we'll put a little flour in. We'll stir that up. Again, trying to make sure that we get the butter mixed in. Put a little more flour in, stir that up. And you just keep doing that until you get a nice dough. Make sure you scrape down the edges of your bowl as much as you can too. Some more here. It's getting there. Kind of starting to look like a dough. A little bit too soft yet, I think, but still a little bit too mushy, more like. But starting to look like a dough. A little bit more. Okay, once you get the dough nice and soft and basically looking like a dough, which it's starting to do here, what you're going to do is you're going to flour a surface, and then you're going to knead the dough for about 5 minutes. So I'll just sprinkle some flour on here, and then you're basically going to I usually go from the outside, fold it in, and then press down with like the heels of my hand here, okay? So just take it and keep doing that. Keep pressing down. You can flip the dough around so you're doing both sides, even flip it so you're doing the other sides. Just kind of rotate it and keep kind of kneading it around and around and around, okay? Once you get that done and you've got a nice smooth and elastic dough, you're just gonna cover it and set it aside, okay? So this is almost done here. It's still maybe a little bit too sticky. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the last little bit of the 3/4 of a cup of flour and get that mixed in. And as you can see, it is starting to form a dough. It's a little bit sticky right now, but there's a pretty good dough going here. I think once I get all of this mixed in, it'll be just fine. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish mixing this up. Then I'm gonna knead it for about 5 minutes and then just cover it. And then I will be back and show you guys what we do next. You will need for the next part 1 pound, let me find out, 1 pound of baking apples. It gives examples as a Cosmic Crisp, a Golden Delicious, or a Granny Smith. And you're gonna need to peel and thinly slice those apples, okay? And I think that's the only thing you really need for the next part. Yes, okay. So let me go ahead and get this done and get it all kneaded. And then I'll be back to show you what we do next. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, you guys, so I got the dough all done and it's over there and covered up and waiting for the next step. So I have my 1 pound, I used Granny Smith apples, but any baking apple will work. I have 1 pound of Granny Smiths peeled and thinly sliced, okay? Then you're also going to need a jelly roll pan, which this isn't actually, I think this is just a small baking sheet, but it is the same size as what it wants it. So you need a 15 by 11 jelly roll pan, and you're gonna take a piece of parchment paper and cut it out to the same size as the inside of the pan, okay? And you can set that to the side for now. Okay, so once you have all of that done, what you're gonna do first is in a small bowl, you are going to whisk together 1/4 a cup of whole milk. So there's that. Then you're gonna need 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. Oops. Okay. 1/3 of sour cream. There we go. Now that's all over my finger. Okay, then you're also gonna put in, let me wipe this off real quick. You're gonna put in a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, so a 1/2 teaspoon. So there we go, okay. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then 1 teaspoon of basically sugar, granulated sugar. Teaspoon. Okay, put that in there. And then you're gonna whisk that all together, okay? Oh, and also you're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees, which I've already done. It's actually there just now. Okay, so go ahead and whisk this all together. Okay, you just kind of got, it's slightly thicker than milk, I think. Slightly thicker, white, liquidy substance, okay? All right, so once you have that done, then you're going to take your apples, and you need to do this in a separate bowl. So you're gonna take your apples that you peeled and thinly sliced, 1 pound of them, and you're going to put in there with this, let's see, 1 pound, oh, that's the baking ounce, 1/4 a cup of golden or regular raisins. I have golden, so that's what I'm gonna use. So 1/4 cup of raisins, golden or regular. Then you're also going to put in 1/3 cup of sugar. Ooh, which my 1/3 cup does not look so good because it's full of sour cream. Let's see if we can wipe that down real quick. I don't want to put sour cream in my sugar. All right, so we will try dumping it instead of dipping it in there. A little bit more. There we go. Put that in. Okay. And then you're also going to need, let's see, some cinnamon, which you need 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, which is right here. Oh, and the other thing that you can do ahead of time, which I forgot to say, is you will need about 1 tablespoon of melted butter for this, okay? So there's 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then last is 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. So we have 1 and 2. Okay. All right, and you're going to toss that around, okay? Get the apples all covered and everything. Try to make sure it all is spread out on all of the apples. Okay, there we go. Once you've got those nice and tossed, now we're going to get back to the dough. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I'll put it away in a little bit here. Just moving out. We're still going to need your 1 tablespoon of melted butter, so you can leave that here close by. Okay. And then let's move these out of the way. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you are going to take your piece of parchment paper that you cut to the size of your baking sheet. You are going to need a rolling pin. I'm going to use my little one here. Okay. And then you're going to grab your dough. Okay. Oops, got some more flour on it. It's okay. There we go. Okay, so you're going to put that on your piece of parchment paper. Now I am going to try to first, before I roll it out, to kind of shape it into a rectangle, because I can never, ever get them to go into the shape I want if I just start rolling them. So I'm going to try to kind of shape it into a rectangle before I put it on there, okay? All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to roll this out to a thin rectangle to about 1 inch from the edges of the parchment paper, okay? So we are just gonna keep rolling this out here. And you should always start from the middle and roll out. And so what I'm gonna do is try to get it the long ways first, and then I'll roll it out the other way, okay? Missed the middle there, that's not good. Okay, that's pretty close to 1 inch there, almost. Okay, so like I said, you just want to leave about a 1 inch border on the parchment paper. So we've got that about done. So now let's see if we can get it to go out this way. Like I said, my hardest thing is getting it to be into the shape that, you know, it's supposed to be in. Even circles, I have trouble getting them into circles. They kind of turn out like oblong, weird looking things, okay? Definitely not a circle, more like some kind of a weird looking art piece. That's what I'm gonna say, okay? All right, so I think we've almost got it here. See, like this part up here, it's not, let's see if I can get that to kind of spread out a little more that way, because it is definitely not there. And if you need to pick it up off the parchment paper, because it might stick, so if you need to pick it up and move it a little, get it to unstick, help it roll out a little bit more. Oops, and I put it on there crooked. There we go. Okay. So let's see if we can get this side rolled out a little more here. There we go, that's a little better. Roll some of this thicker stuff up that way. There we go. That's better. There we go. Okay, so it's not a perfect rectangle, but it's pretty good, okay? So I'm just gonna keep trying to work on this one corner a little bit more. See where all the fattiness is on the dough so I can roll it up that way. There we go, that's better. Okay, got it pretty good. Might not be quite right at an inch, but it's pretty close. And there's a little wave here. Try to get that out a little bit. Okay, there we go. Stick it in my parchment paper. Okay, so now you got that done. So what you're gonna do now after you get this rolled out, you're going to spread your sour cream mixture on here first, okay? My only thing is this is really, it's kind of soupy. So I'm gonna do it with a spoon, I think. You might be able to just kind of pour it on there, but I think I'm gonna do it with a spoon so that we can kind of get it spread around real good. It does kind of stay in place. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like trying to run everywhere, but it's not too bad. Okay. Get over here. And are we supposed to leave edges again? It says spread it evenly over the center, leave a 2-inch border. Well, I did not leave a 2-inch border, but that's okay. If it gets messy, it gets messy. Okay. Almost there. And the only thing is, I'm worried when I go to fold this up, this is just gonna go everywhere. So that's a little worrisome. Okay, so then once you get that done, then you're going to spoon the apples evenly over the sour cream mixture, okay? So I'm gonna start down here and work my way up. Make sure you get some raisins interspersed in there because they tend to go down to the bottom of the bowl. And if you've got a bunch of sugary stuff, kind of try to spread that out if you've got clumps of it at the bottom of the bowl. Okay. Almost got it here. Sure I get it all filled out pretty good. Middle's got a little hole here. And like I said, you're probably gonna have some sugar and stuff on the bottom of the bowl. And kind of take that, kind of sprinkle it around a little. Make sure you get that all off. There we go. Okay. So once you get that, what you're gonna do is you are gonna fold one of the long sides toward the center, okay? Whew. Don't know how good this is gonna work, guys. Okay, so grab this up off the parchment and fold it toward the center, okay? Make sure all the apples are staying in. There we go. Oh, yep, it's kind of running out here. Then you're supposed to take the edges, the shorter sides, and fold them just a little bit over the apples. Not like completely, but a little bit. And I'm gonna try to tuck it under this top part that we did. Okay. I think honestly, this might be a little too many apples. That's okay. I love apples, so why not? There we go, kind of lock that in there, okay? Then you're gonna take this last long part. Oh, and I need a little bit of water. Whoops, so let me grab some water here. Rinse this milk out of this measuring cup here. Okay. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this last long part and you are going to fold it over, okay? And you're gonna overlap the dough, you know, this part here. So, and then you're also going to need to take a little bit of water, and you're supposed to brush that along the edge here. So I'm gonna try that, but there's quite a bit of stuff that's kind of pushed its way down there. So, and you can use a brush. I'm just using my finger to kind of tap it on there. But I'm also gonna go ahead and just brush some on here too, just because like I said, I don't know that it's enough on here to seal it, so. All right, so fold this over as best as you can. Ooh, I put little holes in it, that's not good. Okay, and then I am going to try to seal up the ends here as well, as much as I can. Okay. Okay, so we've got that done. It's not perfect. There's little holes in there, but that's all right. It's looking pretty good actually. But that stuff is pouring out the sides here, which is kind of worries me. I don't think it's supposed to. We'll try to seal it up a little more as best we can. Okay, there we go. Now, what did I do with my dishcloth? Oh, here it is. Okay, so once you get that done, let's see. So you're gonna brush the top of this with a little bit of milk. Okay. So let me get a little bit more whole milk. And I'll get a brush here, I guess. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit of whole milk. Don't need very much, just enough to do the brushing with. And I need a pastry brush. Okay. And so, first we gotta get a sharp knife as well. And what you're gonna do with the knife is you are just gonna cut like a few slits across the top. So like one here maybe, one in the middle, and one here. Okay, and those slits will spread out as it cooks. Okay, kind of make little openings. Then you're gonna take your milk with your brush, and you're just gonna brush the whole top of it here with some whole milk. Okay. Okay, almost got it here. Now once you've got that all brushed in whole milk, you can just take a little bit of sugar and just sprinkle it over the top. Just a little sugar, not too much, just a little, okay? Now, you're gonna take this log and the parchment paper and transfer it back to your pan. Hopefully I can do that without messing it up too much. Okay, let me get these bowls out of the way. Okay, so I am just going to use the parchment paper as like a little pouch. Transfer it right on over. Looks really good actually. Okay, you guys, so here it is, ready to go into the oven. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to put this in the oven at 400 degrees and bake it for about 10 minutes. Once that 10 minutes is up, you're going to reduce the heat to 350 on your oven, and then you're going to bake it until the apples are tender and the pastry on the outside is a golden. So it should take about 30 minutes more. Maybe check it a little bit earlier just to make sure, okay? Once you've gotten it all cooked and it's looking good, you're going to take it out of the oven and you're going to let it cool on the pan for about 30 minutes. You're going to cool it on the pan for about 30 minutes, and then you can transfer it to a serving plate, and then you dust it with some powdered sugar and then serve it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, stick this in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes, reduce it down to 350, cook it for about another 30 minutes until it's a nice golden brown and the apples are tender. Then you're going to let it cool on the pan for 30 minutes, transfer it to whatever you're going to serve it on, and then sprinkle it with, we'll transfer it to whatever you're going to serve it on, sprinkle it with some powdered sugar, and then you can serve it warm. Okay. All right, you guys. So I'll be back as soon as I get this, have sat on the pan for 30 minutes after I've taken it out of the oven, and we'll see how it turned out. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, you guys, also, I was cleaning up, and here is my bowl of butter. So before you close up your pastry, once you have your apples spread out, you're supposed to spread the butter on top of the apples. So I didn't do that, but that's okay. I might try to pour it in through the little slots that I put in there. Hopefully that'll do it. Hopefully that'll work. So I'm gonna try to do that, but yeah, before you close up the pastry, before you fold it up, pour this over top of your apples, okay? Sorry about that. So I'll be back. Okay, you guys, so our apple strudel is all done. Look at how good that came out. It looks delicious, doesn't it? And I did end up pouring the butter down through the holes, and some of it stayed in there, some of it didn't, but that's okay. So now what we're gonna do, now usually you would sprinkle this with powdered sugar. You would cut it up and then you can sprinkle each piece with powdered sugar as you're serving it. Since I'm not quite serving it yet, I'm not gonna do the powdered sugar part, but we are gonna try a little piece of this just to see how it tastes. And let's make sure we get some of the pastry and some apple. Let's see, do we got some apple? Oh, I have an apple on there. Let's get some of the pastry, some of the apple, maybe a raisin. See what all I can get here. Okay, and mine did kind of split open a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so let's give this a try. That is really good. That's delicious. Okay, you guys, that is really good. So the apples are just slightly crunchy. Not a whole lot, but it's cooked to perfection. Tastes just like an apple pie pretty much. This would be really good. Serve it with some vanilla ice cream or something. Fantastic. Love it. Okay, you guys, so that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Like and subscribe if you like, or don't if you don't. Everyone have a good day. Enjoy your cooking. Keep your kitchen messy, and we'll see you later. Bye.